like Lee and B Street, NYC in 83, I'm HIP, HOB to the death of ME, the fourth element.
All right, I'm out of your know. Welcome back.
Peace, Sabali.
We back at it.
We here, baby. We still here.
All right, so the topic for tonight, Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, also known as Notorious B.I.G. So what are your thoughts on Biggie Smalls?
Biggie Smalls is the illest. You know what I mean? Um, we're talking about like possibly the greatest MC of all time. Um, I I became a fan. Actually, I became a fan when I saw who he was visually, which was the Dolly My Baby video. That's the Dolly My Baby remix um, with Supercat featuring Mary J, Puff Daddy, and I believe this other dude named Snagglepuss, if I'm not mistaken. But Biggie
Okay.
had the last verse on there, and you know what he spit. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but the big stop, but the soul drop, but Super Cat past the Glock. I see you shivering. You know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? And then, you know, the song itself was crazy, you know what I'm saying? It was a remix done by Puff Daddy. And we all know that when Puff puts his hands on remixes, shit used to be out the ballpark, you know what I
Make it
mean? So
hot.
yeah, that's just next level shit. But yeah, you know what I mean? And after that, it was Ready to Die, the album. And the album was crazy. Ready to Die is one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, for sure.
So Biggie had a Jamaican background.
Yes, sir. Yes,
His
sir.
his mother
Definitely.
was Jamaican.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely. And I think that added to the to the flavor with his music and with his rhymes and his flow and his you know what I mean, just the way he delivered the music on Ready to Die. He has a reggae kind of, you know what I mean, type of song. um
Mm-hmm.
Respect. Respect is called, you know what I'm
Saw the
saying? And
gunman them.
yes, sir, that was
Mm-hmm.
super hard, you know what I mean? That was super hard. And so you know what I mean? So you saw it there from the beginning, but in his documentary, there's an uncle that he had in Jamaica that actually like put him onto like a lot of reggae dance hall rhythms, during that vacation time that he was there, you know what I mean? And it seemed like that enlightened him. It put a fire under him where you know what I mean, like musically, it just all came together for him. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But Jamaican influence is just hip hop in general. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That the hip hop music, the basis of hip hop music, a lot of it is influenced by reggae and Jamaican culture and dancehall itself. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
it's one of the elements of where hip hop music comes from. But when you talk about Kool Herc, one of the founders of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? You have to put Jamaican culture. Um, you have to put it up there with you know what I mean, the basis of where hip hop comes from.
So what was the first Biggie you remember hearing?
The first Biggie track I heard was
Mm.
Party and Bullshit. Um, and that was on the Who's the Man soundtrack, which is a movie by Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. Peace to Ed Lover. And the soundtrack was crazy, you know what I mean? And when I heard Party and Bullshit or whatever, I didn't know who it was, but you know what I mean? It sounded kind of ill, and then it was getting like a little rotation. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I don't think it was ever dropped as a single. I think it was, I don't know if it was dropped as a single, because I don't remember ever seeing a video for it per se. You know what I mean? But it was definitely in mixtapes. And then after that, I heard. B.I. and a Mary J remix. Look up in the sky, is a bird, is a plane. Oh, and Mary J. and a damn thing changed. You know what I'm saying? So one of Mary's hit records, you know what I mean? He was on a remix as well.
Mm.
And then I heard him, I think, on the Super Cat joint, and then Ready to Die came out after that.
Yeah, so Ready to Die was the first album. So what do you think about Ready to Die compared to Life After Death?
Or compared to Life After Death,
Mm.
like the impact was crazy on Ready to Die because this was during the time when the West Coast was raining. You know what I mean? The West Coast was really they had their foot in the neck of the game at
Mm.
that time. And so, you know, a lot of New York, there was a lot of dope New York shit that was out, but there wasn't like a particular brand per se, like Death Row
Hmm.
that was, you know what I mean, anywhere in the game. Yeah, I think it was only like Rap a Lot and maybe like Death Row and shit, you know what I'm saying? That was like the head labels and shit. But then when Puff created Bad Boy, you know what I mean? He already had Biggie in Uptown, and he had, you know what I'm saying, after Puff got fired by Andre Harrell, you know what I mean? And he created Bad Boy, he brought Biggie with him. You know what I mean? And Biggie wasn't Bad Boy's first hit. Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack was the first platinum song through the label. But when Ready to Die hit, it was crazy because prior to that, the only thing that was cooking as far as East Coast artists was Nas with Illmatic. You know what I
Did
mean?
did Big diss Craig Mack on his own song?
On the remix, they say that that's the case. Yes, I don't know that to be the case for real.
Peace
You
to
know what I
Craig
mean?
Mack. Rest in peace, Craig Mack.
Yeah, rest in peace, Craig Mack, because there's nothing like, you know what I mean? He doesn't mention Craig Mack, but I mean, you know, don't be mad. UPS is hiring. That could be for anybody. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But um, they say that that's really what it was. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to me. But you know what I mean? Rap is a competitive sport. Even label mates, I guess, could get it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or whatever. You know what I mean? But Ready to Die was out of here because the greatness of Ready to Die was the balance between like street rap and like club rap and commercial rap with Juicy, you know what I'm saying, and Big Papa. Those were like, you know what I mean, songs for like the clubs, and you know what I mean. But then you had like Warning. Who the fuck is this? Paging me at
Hmm.
546. That was for the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That was for the streets right there. Machine Gun Funk. Um, you know, a lot of songs on the album. You know what I'm saying was for the streets. But
Give
what
me the
really
loot.
took what really took me to
Hmm.
loop. It's just
Hmm.
whew, facts. But what really took the album to another level was the One More Chance remix.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? The original version is dope, but it's like street, it's like hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit would have not made the impact that the remix did. You know what I'm saying? And that shit took Biggie to another level. It took the Ready to Die album to another level. And Biggie solidified himself as the king of New York at that particular time. Now, compared to Life After Death, I think that Life After Death was like way more on a different stratosphere compared to Ready to Die. Like his rhymes of beats elevated, you know what I'm saying? The songs elevated,
Hmm.
the rhymes and the raps elevated, the flows elevated, you know what I mean? And you listen to Life After Death right now, and it sounds like it came out tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's how futuristic the album is. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Ready to Die sounds like 90s hip hop per se. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But Life After Death was on another level. Like, you know what I mean? Of everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The Bull Thugs feature, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Took Biggie to like another level as well.
Hmm.
And so Life After Death to me, as dope as Ready to Die was, Life After Death to me was way doper. You know what I'm saying? It's like like I said, that should sound like it could come out tomorrow, and it'll still have the same impact. Wow.
So staying on the topic of NYC being a trend-setting mecca, I mean, Biggie had Versace shades. He had, Gucci sweaters. We're talking, definitely setting trends. Faith Evans, probably one of the first R&B rap couples. So
Oh yeah,
being the king of New
yeah.
York, yeah, he definitely was setting trends.
Well, so Pac says that he got the Versace shit from Pac. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But what I really think happened is that, um, listen, Puff, being the mastermind that Puff was, he was the one that was in charge of wardrobe and images for the rappers when he was in Uptown. He did it for Jodeci, he did it for Mary, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have to give Misa is the mother, his children, some credit for that as well because she comes from that world as well. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So fast forward to Biggie, you know what I mean, and that Versace era or whatever, we probably gonna have to give that credit to Puff as well because I believe that more than likely Puff was the one that was in charge of the image, aspect as well. You know what I mean? When it comes to, what I mean, fashion, the fashion and the wardrobe and everything else. You know what I mean?
So Big and Puff was kind of the answer to what you think Snoop, Dre, Suge,
Yeah, yeah. I
you
think
know.
Bad Boy was definitely the answer to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Puff was like on some, I have to get the best rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be on the forefront, you know what I'm saying, to compete with like a Snoop or whatever. Going back, yes, Bad Boy was definitely the answer to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't like on some competition shit, Puff definitely took the 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 idea of, what I'm saying, having a black owned independent label, you know what I'm saying, and put his magic into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, Puff being the A&R in Uptown prior to being the head label of Bad Boy, um, he came with all that experience. He came with all that, you know what I mean, with probably one of the best ears ever when it comes to music. I think when it comes to rap music, I think Puff has probably the best ear, maybe after Dre. And talking about Death Row, you know what I'm saying? Dre was the music machine over there as well. You know what I mean? Puff was like the Quincy Jones of rap. You know what I mean? His ear was just like immaculate, and you can tell with all the artists that he signed. You know what I mean? Big, Craig Mack, um, Total, Faith, Carl Thomas, 112. These are all like, you know what I mean? Incredible acts, really talented acts, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think that Bad Boy was to the east what Death Row was to the west.
So Bad Boy
Right.
had Puff, Bad Boy had Big, but most importantly, they had hit makers.
Correct. Puff had a team of producers that consist of like, people that we know, Stevie J, um, the Mad Rapper, D. Dot Angeletti, Yogi. Yogi did I believe he did like special delivery, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like Yogi had some crazy beats, you know what I'm saying? Chucky Thompson, you know what I'm saying? We talking about like real incredible producers, you know what I'm saying? Under his belt. And then just, Puff masterminding the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Like there was no recipe better than that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
musically, there was no. I'll be telling people, man, you could literally go to a club at 8 p.m. and it's 3 a.m. and we still playing music from Bad Boy from the beginning to end. that
Hmm.
was, you know what I'm saying, that was good music. You know what I mean? That was, you know what I mean, back to back to back. Like that reign that Puff had around, you know what I'm saying, from like 95, shit, probably even before that, because you have to count the first and second Mary J albums, even though they wasn't on the Bad Boy, you have to count um you have to count that, Puff Daddy was the mastermind behind the first Mary album and the My Life album, which to me is one of the greatest R&B albums of all time. The My Life album for Mary J is definitely top five greatest R&B album of all time. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was the mastermind. Puff was the mastermind behind that. Facts.
So he kind of had the vision for the whole
From the
image.
beginning, yeah, for
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
everything, everything. You know what I'm saying? And so, I know this is kind of off topic. When artists complain that, you know what I mean? Oh, I didn't get all this and this and that. Yeah, but he was really putting all the work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like every successful artist needs a great machine. Now in 2026, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? You could do things independently and still pop off, but eventually you're gonna need a machine behind you. You know what I'm saying? The 50 cents of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely gonna need a machine behind you to take you to the next level. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Or
So the Quad Studio incident, Tupac was present. We had pretty much the whole Junior Mafia was at Quad Studio, and there was a robbery shooting that went on and kind of made the whole East Coast West Coast beef really pop off.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately as well. Um, so like I love Tupac, but from what I hear, and I don't know if this is true, is that at the beginning, of course, if you were there and then this happens to me and you're supposed to be my boy, I'm gonna probably be upset, especially getting shot. You know what I'm saying? Well, how many ever times he got shot? You know what I'm saying? But then, from what I hear, is that people close to him from New York told him that Biggie wasn't involved in this, even though it was definitely some cats from Brooklyn where Biggie grew up at. You know what I mean, or whatnot. And so I get it. You know what I mean? But afterwards, he was told that Biggie had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? And so what ended up happening is that Pac took that opportunity as a promotion type of thing, as a gimmick type of thing. You know what I'm saying? In order for him to, you know what I mean, continue to stir up the attention, you know what I'm saying, that this was bringing to both him and Big, and take the popularity thing to to another level or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that if this is true, that he used that like as a crutch to, what I mean, to continue the bullshit. He probably didn't see it ending the way it did, you know what I mean? But if that's true, you know what I mean, then Pac was whack for that. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Pac. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I love Pac. But you know what I'm saying? The rumor is that, you know what I mean, even after he found out about this, that he still tried to stir the pot and keep shit like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And keep fucking interrogating the issue. You know what I'm saying? Making things worse. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? In order for the popularity thing and the record sales and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Go into effect. You know what I'm saying? So he was definitely if he was adding fire to you know what I'm saying, water to the fire, fire to the fuel, whatever the term is, that was whack on his part. You know what I mean? And I heard that he actually shot himself a couple of times or once or something. You know what I mean? Because he supposedly had a gun already on him, and when he went to like reach for it, they say that he popped himself as well. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even sure if that's true as well. You know what I mean? But it was a tragedy nevertheless. It should have never happened. Rest in peace to Pac. Rest in peace to Big. And that shit was whack. And in general, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of rap beefs that go on right now, still to this day. I think the one that got a little more serious was like Game and 50 when they had the shootout in front of 97. But besides that, man, like it should have never gone to that level, man.
So right after this incident, we had Hit 'em Up drop, and then we
Hmm.
had Who Shot You.
Correct.
So two of the biggest, diss songs ever. Well, maybe Who Shot You wasn't really a diss song. So what?
Well, they say that Who Shot You wasn't a diss record aimed for Pac.
Hmm.
That just happened to be a song that was already in the archives that Puff decided to release at the heat of that, you know what I mean, of what was going on and shit. But to me, it sounds ironic because at the end of Fushacha, um, he says, "Did I tell you not to fuck with me, huh?" And then you hear five shots, pam, 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 which is the equivalent of how many times supposedly Tupac got shot at Quad.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe Puff made a big mistake and dropped that record at the wrong time as well. But that record be smacking, bro. That record is so good. Who shot you, man? You know what I'm saying? That you know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Whenever it was supposed to be released, it was going to be a banger, regardless. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. And after that, you know what I mean? Pac continued and All Eyes on Me, shitting on Biggie, not just Biggie, but like he was killing everybody from New York, Jay, Nas, Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? And even on the Machiavelli album, after he passed, he was still shitting on Biggie and still shitting on Jay and going at Nas as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Pac was on a mission, whereas in Biggie's case and Life After Death, he took shots at Pac that you could tell were subliminal towards Pac, but he never said Tupac. The only time he did say something along the lines was in Brooklyn's Finest on Jay-Z's album. If Faith have kids with they probably have two Pacs. Get it? Two Pacs, something to that effect. You know what I mean? And so that was the only time where he kind of like said Pac in a sense. But in life after, he was taking shots at Big. You know what I'm saying? Slugs missed ya. I ain't mad at ya. We ain't mad at ya. Bum rushing, concussions ain't nothing. Catch cases come out front and smoking something. Like he was going in on him. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I mean? I kind of like the way Big did it in a way, pause, but um, I think that also he should have probably been like more, you know what I mean? Morale, especially with if it's going to end the way it's going to end, he might have just well said, you know what I mean? Like F you and like say your name and you know what I mean and all that, you know what I mean? Because Pac definitely didn't hold back on hit him up.
Yeah, he
You know
didn't
what I'm
hold back
saying?
at all.
You know what I mean? That was brutal, bro. How Pac did it, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, I just wish it just I just wish it just stuck to music. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So again, rest in peace. Those were tragedies, man, that unfortunately I think the ripple effects of those two gentlemen passing have an effect of why the rap game is the way it is in 2026 right now. We could speak about that a whole another time, but
That's a whole nother topic.
that's a whole different topic. Yeah.
So Pac passed in 96, Big passed in 97. He was
Hmm.
actually in LA promoting Life After Death when he was
Hmm.
tragically killed. So he
Hmm.
actually didn't get a chance to have his album drop while he was on this earth.
Nah,
And he
man,
was
that was the
24
saddest
years
thing.
old.
Yeah, that was the saddest thing in the world to me, man, because um, the day that Big got killed, I had just came from a former girlfriend's. I was with somebody, and like an hour later, when I'm like ready to go to bed, it's like 5 or 6 in the morning. I remember she calls me and she says, "Yo, they killed Biggie." I was like, "What?" She said, and I believed it. Because you know, when girls tell you one thing, you know what I mean? It's one thing. But if it's like your boy, you'd be like, nah, you bugging, son. Get out of here with that. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you know what I mean? But I believed it. And then in New York 1, it was all over the news, man. That Big had passed away. And that was trash, man. You know what I mean? Like that was trash. That day, me and my cousin Block, piece of my brother Block, we started just playing straight Biggie music, Life After Death. We was playing that shit, and it was like, yo, this shit is so good. And we drank like 5 or 6 more wets. We had like 5 or 6 more wet bottles, just me and my cousin to the face.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? People came by and took zips or whatever, but it was really me and my cousin Block to the face, bro, taking these more wet bottles. And after a while, bro, I think the liquor hit, man. And, with the greatness of the music, bro, and I just started crying. I was like, damn, like a tear came down. I was like, damn,
Mm.
man, my man Big was going to kill the game. You know what I mean? And that it, even, not in the flesh, he killed the game because Life After Death is crazy, man. The album is like crazy. You know what I mean? So to me, it's the second greatest rap album of all time. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, he was young. He didn't really get to see his career flourish. You know what I mean? And that shit was sad for nothing. For nothing, man. For not for nothing, but for like a bullshit ass beef. You know what I'm saying? That should have probably never happened because those two brothers were brothers. They were friends. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, Pac was on a mission though. You know what I'm saying? So
What do you think about Diddy and his current situation?
I don't fault Diddy about none of the allegations or none of the things that he was charged with at all. The only thing I despise Puff about this whole situation was him putting hands and feet on Cassie. That was super corny. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect him for that. You know what I'm saying? But whatever lifestyle you want to live privately, even though I think you should let it be known that you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If you're not a heterosexual man, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out here acting like you are. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you choose to, sleep with whoever, that's your business. But I think you should be clean about it. Let everybody be known. All that other shit, as far as orgies and parties and him watching his woman have sex with other men and all that shit, that's that I have a lot of money shit that I could never comprehend or even try to imagine because that's just super rich people lifestyle.
That's
You know
a
what I'm
different
saying?
world.
There's a different world. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even going to try to even dwell into that world, especially now with all this Epstein file shit that's coming out and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just for people that are on a different level of income. You know what I'm saying? On a different tax level. You know what I'm saying? That I don't care about even trying to imagine what that was. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes I got money, could call girls, fly them over from any country and private jets or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's some shit that I can't even fathom, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But Puff should be home, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't get charged with assaulting and beating Cassie. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he should have gone to jail for whatever they charged him with. He should be home by now. Free Puff. And you know what I'm saying? And I just think that he should probably move to another country when he's released.
And then we got the Keefe D situation, and I've heard rumors that maybe Puff might be called into that trial. So I think we'll have to,
I've heard a lot of shit.
yeah.
I've heard a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And anything is possible. I don't think Pac, I mean, I don't think Puff would. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, I think we give these rich people like too much leverage, I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that you know what I mean? I think that that's something that Keefe D probably said So, you know what I mean? He won't get charged with shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that had anything to do with Puff, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I think that, like I said earlier, Pac was on a mission, you know what I'm saying? He was you know what I mean? Like he was talking a lot, you know what I mean? Not just with the beef, with the rap beef, but you know what I mean? Like being out there in the West Coast, running with the people that he was running with, you know what I'm saying? Like all that gang shit out there, you know what I mean? Like to this day, you still hear rappers that go out there, you know, Pop Smoke. You know, you still hear rappers out there that come from other places that go to
Right.
Cali, end up getting robbed, end up getting killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Out of bounds.
I don't think that
Mhm.
that's something that has specifically to do with with Puff. Maybe it did. You know what I'm saying? There's a good possibility. You know what I'm saying? But I think if Pac would have tried to kill somebody, he would have tried to kill Suge Knight before he tried to kill Pac. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if anything, right? Like, if, you know what I mean? And you would think that he'll probably, you know what I'm saying, go after the main dude, if anything. But, you know what I mean? It is a possibility that is true. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, so it's always an honor, Anoa, having you on. I appreciate, putting this thing together, paying our
pleasure's
respects
always
to
mine,
Biggie
brother.
Smalls.
Rest in peace to the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I would have had him as a GOAT if it wasn't for Nas, because to me, Nas is the GOAT. But I think that if Biggie would have been alive, he would have surpassed every rapper. Jay, Nas, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Because he was just that talented that he was so in tune with adjusting to the times. And you know what I mean? I believe that in 2026 he would have worked with Drake, he would have worked with Wayne, he would have worked with you know what I mean? Whoever is hot. You know what I'm saying? Like even like with a little Yachty, you know what I'm saying? Like I think Big, if he was still in the space of music, he would have collaborated with everybody who you think was hot, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to Big again, you know what I'm saying? And Biggie Smalls is the illest. Thank you for having me, my brother. You know what
All
I'm saying?
right.
Everybody check out the Fourth Element on YouTube. My brother Sabali doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? And you already know, my brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, on behalf of the Fourth Element, just want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the people that's involved in this current war situation. We
Oh
definitely
yes,
want to, yeah,
the world
just,
is burning right now in 2026, and
yeah,
so you know what I'm saying. Peace and love to the world. If I could change something, if God was give me the opportunity to change something right now, it'll be world peace. And you know what I'm saying, for all humankind. Or
sure. So we out, Fourth Element. Get that on
Fourth
it.
Element, baby.
Yeah. It's all
Yeah,
love. All right, till next time. Peace.
peace.
Like Lee and B Street, NYC in 83, I'm HIP, HOB to the death of ME, the fourth element.